Hey guys, I am back. I had a very mini hiatus. I don't even think that just under a month counts. But I needed a bit of a break and I've come back to do a bit of a catch up with you guys and show you my month's favourites, which are actually a lot larger than usual, and I'll explain the reason to that when I get to it. And I'm hoping you're liking my little stars. My partner got me these so that I could decorate my altar for Christmas and the festive period. The reason that I've had a break, many of my friends and my Instagram followers will know, is it's basically I had a couple of people who were just continually disliking my videos. In the grand scheme of things, it's very tiny. I've been having a massive flare up with my health conditions like in the month of November, and was feeling maybe a little bit more sensitive than usual, and I'd prefer it if people told me what they don't like about my video. Unfortunately, you do get the statistics from YouTube, and stupid me, I looked at them and it was from the same geographical location on the same day. So nonetheless, anyway, I had a bit of a think about how I feel about the whole kind of system on YouTube, because Instagram really is my favourite platform and I kind of just do the YouTube stuff for fun. I don't really share much about my experience in too much depth on here. I've specifically kept that to Instagram purely for that fact, and I don't know how much I'm willing individually to open myself up on this platform with the whole liking and disliking, and just, you know, the fact that people don't feel like they can just mosey on by if they don't like something, or that they can't engage with you and have a constructive conversation about that, which I would much prefer. Let's not bore everyone with that anyway. I am back. The main reason that I came back much quicker than I had planned to was because I have been sent a couple of lovely gifts and I want to show them off, and I figured before I start uploading videos again I should probably do a favourites video, although they do seem to be the ones that are unpopular, so we shall see. And maybe I won't carry on doing favourites, I don't know, you guys can let me know what you think. Now, one of the favourite things that I've done this month is myself and a good friend of mine, Nessa, we actually created our first Instagram challenge, and oh my god, it was freaking awesome. I thought at best maybe 4 or 5 people would do it. Obviously myself and Nessa did it, and it actually got for me it felt like quite a large intake. It was called #GetToKnowYou. That was Nessa's fun way of playing on getting to know you for the month of November, and it was very much based on sharing experiences and getting to know each other more in the community, but on a grounds where you very much choose how much you share and what it was you share. And that's something that I'd really picked up on, is that I like telling people certain bits about myself, and then other bits, like anyone, I don't talk about my career and things like that very often. And I just thought, rather than asking specific questions, we would have a prompt once a week, twice a week, where people were able to share exactly what it was, whether it was short fun facts, something quippy, a long story, a joke. And then there were lots of other little bits about seeing each other's altars, what card describes you. You know, some of it's been done before, some of it hasn't. It was really, really fun, and we had such good feedback. People are already asking us, when are you going to do the next one? And I'm like, whoa. I didn't realise how much went into not necessarily creating the challenge. Once the idea was there, we had an evening where we went back and forth, and then it was created and we used each other's strengths. Nessa come up with a catch phrase because I just couldn't think of anything quippy, and I did the photo editing and it was done. It was obviously I wanted to get to know people, so I read, I commented on, I want to say every post. There is probably a tiny possibility that I missed one, but even if I didn't comment, I read them, and it was just really fun getting to know people. That was one of the best things about this month, and it really helped during such a bad pain flare up as well, because it really gave me something to focus on, and it kept me incredibly busy. The other thing that I did this month, which kind of leads me into my decks, as I said, I have got quite a few sitting here, so I'm just going to do a little bit of each. This is the Wildwood Tarot. It's shiny, shiny, so there might be some reflection. And this month, Kelly from The Truth in Story run her lovely Into the Wildwoods challenge on November. I must be honest, for the first time ever, it's the first challenge that I bowed out of at probably about 4 or 5 days before the end, because everything was just, it was just catching up with me, and obviously I didn't want to jump out of my own challenge, but I really enjoyed it. I did the rest of it by myself. Most of you will know, like, I really make a fuss of setting up my pictures, so it takes me a while, and sometimes I just like to have a break from doing it. This was a chance to get to know this Wildwood deck, because this was sent to me the day, it was the 1st of November. I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to get to join in or not. And it turned up the 1st of November. This was actually a gift. And it's just been absolutely amazing. I am not bothered that it doesn't follow the Rider-Waite-Smith. It does in some cases and not in others. Personally, for me, I don't mind that it's got the keywords at the bottom. It's another one of those ones, and I know that you probably hear me use this word a lot, but it was quite a visceral experience for me. Very emotional and just easy to connect with. I have just loved it, loved the artwork. It really felt like a coming back to my roots kind of deck, and I needed the grounding, earthy energy, and the artwork, it's, yeah, just, I can't go on about it more. This has most definitely been one of my out and out favourites, and it's the first Will Worthington deck in terms of artwork that I've actually owned, and he has definitely sold me on his artwork, because man is a genius. That's the first deck. Let me have a think, what else? The other decks are kind of, there's different reasons for them. This is the Animal Totem Tarot, and this is my Going Out in Nature deck. I'm sorry about the lighting, you guys. This has been another highly used one this month. Again, you can kind of see like the earthy energies. I love working with animals and animal energy, as most of you guys already know, so again, not going to bore you with that. But this one, I've been going to our local duck pond. It's not just ducks there, but quite regularly, because I need to walk daily, and it's just so serene and peaceful, and I take this deck with me, and this deck just begs to be taken outside and used with nature and around animals. I love the artwork. I think that the artist and the creator have done a really good job at still depicting the messages, so the animals aren't just there doing nothing. They are very, so you can see here, it's very much inviting the sun in. And I think that that's one thing that I appreciate about it, that they aren't just all just sitting around and doing nothing. You can see the movement in the chariot. You know, you can see the presence of the Emperor, and they utilise the natural animal behaviour really well in this as well, which is something that I appreciate. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, this is one of those ones that started hanging around with me. I think that this will be one that if the relationship carries on being the same, because it's the thicker, older Llewellyn cardstock and it chips quite a bit easily, just from simple, gentle shuffling and stuff, I would definitely contemplate getting a backup for that deck, and I'm not too much of a backup deck kind of gal. Let's have a look, see. This one, oh my god. Most of you guys are probably like, you're late to the party. This is the gorgeous Shadowscapes deck, and this was my first ever trade. So I've actually done a trade, you guys. I have kind of swapped gifts with people, but this was a genuine, I put it on the trade group on Facebook and traded it for an item with someone who I don't know, sent it out into the world, waited for this to come back, and oh my god, this is the check version, hence the bigger side and the very gorgeous, very shiny gilding. This deck never called to me. I generally go for earthier or darker stuff, and to be honest with you, coupled with the fact that it looked incredibly busy on the small Llewellyn cardstock, it just, yeah, something wasn't clicking at all. However, I've heard people speak so passionately about this deck, and despite not being much of a whimsical deck person myself, I did want to have a variety of decks for client readings, but also I'm quite the gamer, and I like that kind of ethereal, elven energy, and it sort of reminds me of the high elves in Lord of the Rings as well. This reminds me of Lord of the Rings loads, or just playing World of Warcraft. And when she offered me a variety of things to do the trade, I was like, there was nothing particularly on my wish list, but I simply wanted to do the trade. It was for a second copy of something that I'd had replaced because there was damage to the outside of it. They told me to keep it, and I didn't need 2 copies. And to be honest, with a book, I knew that it was an expensive book. A lot of people might not have the money to put that forward for a book and wouldn't potentially mind because the insides weren't damaged. And this is the deck that I chose, and I am so glad I did. Really connected really quickly. Actually, it's got a lot of animal energy in it, which I hadn't really realised, and it turns out the artist is someone I've followed on Instagram for years, even before I had my current Instagram on my private one, and I had no clue it was her. It gives really good all-round readings. I have actually read for someone with this already. I have no problem with the not being able to read the book. I do have the app anyway, but for me, the book is written so beautifully that it's worth reading the book, but I don't feel like I need it to read these cards, and I'm taking my hand to reading this language really quickly in terms of knowing what's an 8, etc. Really so just thrilled that my first trade went well as well, because it was a little bit nerving, I'll be honest. Next up, I've got the Wild Unknown Tarot, which you guys will have seen a multitude of times from a multitude of people, but this is one of my favourite ever decks, and I don't want to leave it out just because everyone's seen it lots. I just love this deck. There really isn't much to say other than I just love it. There's a lot of decks that I often forget to show on my favourites, and the reason is that sometimes I forget how much I've been using them because my pain medication makes me a bit foggy. And what I do is I go back on Instagram and remind myself, and I don't take pictures of my daily draws every day. Like, there's a lot of things that I do on Instagram, and I would just post 6-7 times a day otherwise. But this one is such a steady yeah, just a steady grounding base for me, and I feel like between me and this deck, we keep it real. It is just divine. If I had to give up most of my decks, this would certainly be one that stayed. It is amazing. The last of the tarot decks, and you'll be saying, thank God, is the epic, the gorgeous Bonfire Tarot. Many of you will know this is another one of my favourites. The reason that you don't see this much on my Instagram, if you're an Instagram follower, is because this is the mass-produced version by Schiffer, and as many of you know, Schiffer loves the shiny. They love the shiny, they love the gloss, and I'm a photo snob. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoy photography. It's one of my passions, which is why my Instagram is so heavily used. And I would photograph anything. I photograph everything and anything that I enjoy doing. It's not just tarot. That's just mostly what I share on there. So it's something that I enjoy and that's fun for me. And the artwork is so beautiful that every time you've got like a big shine on it like that and you can't see it, it just derives from the experience of the cards. And Gabby is, yeah, I can't sing her praises enough. I think I've done it before. This kind of artwork is that fiery, emotive, like I've got my grounding decks, and then this fiery, colourful, I want to feel that passion when I look into the people's expressions. And this deck, I'm actually going to be doing something really fun with this one. I have recently got Dirty and Divine by Alice Grist on the Kindle, and I wanted to work through, rather than read the book back to front or in little pieces, I wanted to take a tarot journey like she does in her book. I've decided I'm not going to go from the full all the way through in that capacity, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this deck aside because I don't photo it as much, and this has remained quite a personal deck for me. I haven't really used this for reading with others. I don't know why, it could fantastically, but I feel very attached to just reading with myself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to shuffle and pull a card a day and journal the card, and then read the Dirty and Divine entry. And then I will put that card to the side and I will shuffle and pull the next day and so forth until I've gone through the whole deck. I'm super excited to do that. It will probably take me a while because there'll be some days like when I'm at hospital and stuff when I won't do it, but I will be sure to let you know how it goes. The other decks, most of you will have seen that I was gifted this lovely Beasts of Albion, and this for me, I've been getting to know this deck more. Most of the animal energies I am used to working with, however, because the book has such an in-depth level of working with it, which you don't have to use, but I am a studier at heart and I really want to take in the book. And therefore, that's something that I've been trying to do across the month, as and when I've got time. If you haven't seen this deck and you want to see more of it, then I have about 3 or 4 weeks ago done not an unboxing, more of a flip through mini review. I tried to explain the book best of my capacity at the time. I will do a return to it. Next up is the adorable Iron Power deck. It might be adorable, but it is a really, I'd say it's a hard hitter, but I guess it depends what way you use the deck for it to be that. I pull 5 cards per month, every month, which technically this deck should then be in my favourites every month, and I totally forget the poor little thing. And this is made by the lovely Devin, and the artwork is by Brittany. They are freaking, and just an awesome collaboration. I can't wait to see their tarot fauna. But this deck is also great for, I do a lot of readings for others and use the affirmations to open up and direct the readings, especially when people want energy readings that don't have a particular focus, because otherwise it just feels like it could be far too open-ended. And this deck gets used a hell of a lot actually. And it's just the best deck to shuffle. I know it's tiny, but I've got tiny hands, and actually I find it really easy to shuffle, and I never shuffle on camera, but oh, yeah. Last two, and then I will go on to any other things before I let you guys go and make this too long. I've got the beautiful, oh, this is just one of those decks that makes me want to ooh and ah and make yummy noises. The Lavish Earth Crystal Affirmation deck by the epic Amy Woodson. And I know that this is the only crystal deck I've got, so when I say that to people this is the best crystal deck on the market, they're like, you don't have any others. I have seen others, I have held others, because a lot of the others are mass marketed. I've got two of this card because my first one it's got damage on it. If you're wondering why that popped up. It is by far, for me, the best of them, because I love how the quote opens up the message. It's got the keywords here. It's got a breakdown of the meaning and also the energy that comes with the crystal. I feel like Amy really knows her shit when it comes to crystals, and it's beautiful. It's got such a gorgeous collection. I think it's about 65 cards if I'm remembering rightly. And if you tune into my Instagram lives, which I do a lot at the moment, I'm quite regularly live on Instagram. I am not going live on YouTube for several reasons. I don't film my face, and therefore I don't think that there would be a big uptake on it on YouTube. And also I'm quite a small fish, and if it got busy I haven't got anyone to help me moderate it. So I've kind of stuck to Instagram, but I do lives on there regularly, and this is one of two decks that I often use just for fun pulls when people are on. Like, I don't do mass readings because once you get into the flow of it, Instagram gives you an hour to be on the live, and I'm always getting cut off at the end. This deck gets used lots and lots and lots by me as well, because there's so many crystals that I can work with this one that I don't actually own. Look, it is just so pretty. Couldn't recommend that more, seriously, you guys. It's still on her Etsy. It is an indie deck. I was fortunate enough to get it from Little Red Tarot, but they're not stocking it anymore as far as I'm aware. The other deck that I use a lot for myself, and I really should photo more, but also again on my Instagram lives, because not only is it just hilarious, it's nice, short and sharp, so if I get a few people jump in, then it gives everyone a chance to get a message, and it usually gives us a ton of laughs. This is the wonderful Rebel deck. If you don't like swearing, you're probably not on my channel anyway, but this deck is hilarious. I'm terrible for not taking the title cards out. I usually keep them on the top and the bottom in an aim to prevent any scratching of the cards when they're in their little baggies. And for anyone who doesn't know this deck, it's got a message on the top half and then a message on the back. Oh, this is interesting. When I did the Instagram live that I'm thinking of, which was a couple of weeks back, and I was in a shed load of pain, and I thought, you know what, I've just got to jump on, see if anyone's around and focus on someone else, because I was feeling like I really wanted to whinge, and I had every right to whinge, and I did whinge a little bit, but then I was like, right, really I should stop whinging, let's pull you guys some cards. And we were having a chat, and I thought I'll pull myself one quickly to get it out of the way. And this is the one that come out. Stop talking, shut your mouth and listen. Oh, and there's a lot of proactive loving cards. Like, this deck doesn't just tell you be quiet all the time. That's not what it's about. But it really did make me laugh because everyone else got these really kind of loving messages. And it just told me to shut up, basically, which was really, really quite poignant and just perfect timing. And yeah, it's a really fun, it is a fun deck to use. So if you ever want to get a bit more of an idea of some of the messages, then there are reviews out there, but otherwise jump into one of my Insta lives, because if I've not got the cards with me and you mention it to me, like, I'll get them. I'm sitting in here, all of my cards are around me. It is just good fun. Fucking apologise. Seriously, just do it. This one comes out for me occasionally as well. You equals tight ass. Loosen the fuck up. Control freaks don't get laid. And she's actually creating a new deck, which I'm so psyched about, you guys. It's going to be one based on couples and messages that could be beneficial for, I guess, the both of them. It's very new and in the works, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think that she makes amazing, very unique decks. I haven't really worked with many crystals for myself. I have had my black tourmaline on hand quite a lot. And this is a gorgeous chunk of black tourmaline as well, may I add. Just for some grounding more than anything else. Like, just not been feeling that great at all. And speaking of not feeling great, my other go-to is my amazing rose quartz heart, which is a beast. It is a beastie. But I have loved it. And obviously my lives are kind of my favourites as well, because the fact that people come and join me in them always amazes me. And even if it's 4 people, we always end up chatting for like an hour. It's just amazing. Very occasionally I do jump on there and show my face, but I don't often share those ones for 24 hours. But there are some, and I do focus lives as well, so that's fun. The other things that are my favourites, and it's simply a few YouTubers that have returned, so I guess for want of a better word, the lovely Luna Celeste, and I will put these 3 YouTubers below so that you can go and check out their channels. She's had a lot going on. I can't quite remember if it's a move or something like that, but I know that she's massively busy, and she only jumped on to do the one video, as far as I'm aware, which was to show off a gorgeous oracle deck that she's got. But I love her. You know, I consider her a dear friend anyway, and seeing one of her videos come on, I'm happy to wait for her. Whatever she's doing that's keeping her busy, that's cool. But to see one of her videos was awesome. The epic Kelly Bear has returned. Oh my god, does her skinhead not look amazing? Oh, I wish it would suit me, seriously, because I often have undercuts and stuff, and it's just so much easier to maintain, albeit very chilly. So she's back. She's done a couple of videos as far as I'm aware, and I don't know, she's just one of those people. These 3 people are all people that I could just listen to for hours. There's just something about their presence that intrigues me, and I enjoy it, and the energy. And the last but not least is the epic Cape Cod Creatures, and again, she's been super busy. And that's what happens. People get busy and they flit in and out of YouTube. But when I saw that she'd come back, she was actually one who I'd been hovering, because she's so regularly on YouTube and in the community and does quite a lot. Obviously she runs Tarot Sphere as well, which is one of the new tarot forums, runs her own business, etc. But she's often maintaining a presence. So when she disappeared, I was hovering on her YouTube like, oh, where has she gone? She does epic epic lives, and they're really, really good fun. Long, she gives you readings on them. Seriously, go and check her out and chuck the notifications on, because it's worth not missing out. So those three just, oh, you know, I've got a lot of favourites, but those three are people who I genuinely miss when they're gone, and I kind of thought it would be nice to share that. The only other thing that I will share before I get going is, I've just, but it's more towards the end of the month, really sunk my teeth into poetry recently, and just love in it, and I have now been hunting for poetry books left, right and centre. If you have any recommendations, please comment them below, because I really feel like it's something that is going to be quite cathartic for me. One of the ones that I found is called Salt, and actually on the UK Amazon it went from nearly I think it was £19-20, and it shot down to £5.60 the other day. So my partner said buy it, and I'll put it away for you for Christmas, or if someone else asks what you want, there's a £5.50 gift that they can give you. It just moved me, and also I'm finding it quite hard to read books, as in normal books, front to back at the moment. It's been a difficulty that I've had all year, and then I can experience something and then I can come back to it for something new. That just feels so good right now, and I think that it will be a good emotional process as well. I'll be really interested to hear anything that you want to talk about below, and obviously your poetry recommendations. And other than that, I hope to catch you guys soon. See you later.